Hello, I am Kiki, black, non-binary, fat, artist, and activist.
I found Kiki on Instagram and I just had to go to Eskilstuna to talk to her. As he mentioned, Kiki has a lot of different projects going on and also identifies with many labels.
I am more than my name and my labels and my identities. Maybe that is what people don't want to know. And for the longest, I've been labeled and boxed that I am just tearing up every label and every box because you cannot label me and you cannot label anybody. And I am here to challenge everything wrong and everything unfortunate and everything injustice for me and for everybody around the world.
Kiki has made quite a journey within the LGBTQIA+ community before coming to the conclusion about her identity.
I have a lot of identities in the alphabet. I am like almost the boss of the alphabet mafia. So I, at first, for the longest, I identified as a gay person because I thought I was a male person. But then later on, when I find out or realize this year that I am not, my gender is not a male. So I figure out that I am an agender, and I came out this year as agender, non-binary person. But I still hold up my male sexual characteristic, and that's make it harder for people to understand that for me my gender doesn't match my biological sex, but for them they just presume that because I look masculine or I look as a male, they presume that I am a male automatically. It's nonsense. It's just like telling them I am non-binary, and for them it's like, this is an alienated gender. What the fuck are you saying? Is it like, what are you speaking about? For them, it's always been the binary. To tell them that, oh, your sexual organs doesn't, or your sex characteristic and your biological attribute doesn't make you who you are. It's not only a man and a woman world. That for them, it's very hard. It's harder when you speak to an Arabic audience and tell them that this is not real. There's more than the binary, and they will tell you no, but like the man, like male have this and this, so that's why they're men. But they don't understand that it's human characteristic, is not male or female characteristic.
Kiki was born in Saudi Arabia, and it wasn't exactly easy being queer there.
I didn't came out, but I've been outed when I was 13 in some sort of way. I never knew what homosexuality was as a small child who was born in Saudi Arabia. I didn't know what is sexuality is. I know it's something forbidden, it's something socially inappropriate. I know that it's haram or forbidden. I know it is wrong to speak about them or to do them as a child, but I didn't know anything about sex. We don't speak about sex or sexual attractions or romance because it's a big taboo in the region, in the society. So for the longest, I've never understand what sex was until I start to hit puberty. And when I hit puberty, I have an intercourse with a friend of mine who was a male. And then religion hit hard because for the longest, it's forbidden people who were homosexuals. It demonized them, and I felt that I had identity crisis, that I was living a double life, a life that I was living a real depth life and another like out life where I pretended to be like them and follow their rules and to be a good Muslim and a good man and a good boy, call it what you call it. But for the longest, I hated myself. I have internal homophobia and queerphobia because for the longest I hated myself because the religion told me that I am a major sin, that homosexuality is a major sin. Any people with homosexuality tendencies will end up in hell. I was frightened that I will end up in hell no matter what I do, no matter how I worship, no matter how good of person I am. So for the longest I had chronic depression. I was sad because I knew there's one thing in my life that is threatening my happy afterlife. There's an obstacle that I didn't have any control of that is keeping me out of heaven. I didn't feel that I belonged to Islam because of that. I've never felt that I belong to my family because of that. Because identity kept a distance between me and them, because deep down I know they won't love me enough when they know who I am. And I knew that the religion wouldn't accept me as a Muslim when they know who I am. So for the longest I pretended to be one of them and suppress my identity and suppress my homosexuality and suppress my queerness. So I choose my identity over my family and my people and my religion. And it's hard because it's hard to lose your family.
Having to leave your family, your home country, and your whole life behind you must be really, really difficult. I can't even try to imagine what it must be like growing up in a place where your identity is forbidden.
You don't come over a hard childhood like that, especially when you battled everything alone. But you become stronger and you become more fighter. But unfortunately, for the longest, you don't live, you just survive. You always are in the surviving mode, even when the life is at the happiest point. You always are afraid to celebrate the momentum that you are happy in, because you're afraid that life would come and ruin it in some sort of way. It is very hard. You just tolerate that this is your life and that was your childhood, and you didn't choose that childhood, and you didn't choose those parents, and you didn't choose that life. I have a new life. So I knew that I didn't choose that life, but I'm choosing this one, and I'm overcoming my traumas, my childhood traumas. It is hard. I'm not gonna lie and say it's easy.
One thing that has helped Kiki get over this is her friends.
I have a lot of people around me that supports me, and they give me love and they give me information. I'm happy that I have the internet to see all the other queer stories and to appreciate that my life wasn't this hard as theirs. And I have a big community right now that I'm talking to in online who are Arabic and who have been through the same trauma, turbulation and drama.
Let's back up a little bit and listen to what it was like arriving to Sweden and seek asylum in the first place.
Well, I did arrive in 2015. I was the happiest because going out of that hostile society and environment made me feel happier. I remember coming here in Sweden the first time, I was like, oh, finally, I'm gonna live the life that I've seen in TV. Seeing like green trees and beautiful nature and gray sky. I felt like I belong. This is my environment. I was born at that day, I guess, but then life hit again. I sought asylum in 2015, and it was really hard then because it was this huge wave of asylum that came in 2015. For the longest, I couldn't speak about my truth because, as I told you, I was afraid to come out as true me. I couldn't reveal my homosexuality or my queerness to the immigration agency because I was afraid of what would happen if my family knew. I was just very suspicious about my family and how they would respond if they knew that I was homosexual at that time. So I couldn't tell the truth, so I felt like the tendency to tell another story about my coming to Sweden and why did I seek asylum. So I was depressed for the longest because I've stayed waiting for asylum for almost 2 years, and I felt like if I speak up my truth, I would be in a better place right now. Nobody would care about my truth because nobody are here, nobody is living my life. And for the longest, I was more depressed because of the situation that I was living, that I have paused my life for almost 2-3 years, doing nothing, just waiting for a decision to stay in some country. But then later on, one of my oldest friends helped me to came out to my truth, and I speak my whole truth and gain the asylum seeking. I have the right to stay in Sweden. I guess since then, since 2017-18, I decided that I need to come out of the closet because I cannot live hiding anymore.
And then Kiki came out, started finding queer friends, and started finding her place within the queer community.
From there, I start to accept everything about me. I have destroyed my fake masculinity. I have destroyed the bigotry of my sassiness or sissiness. And I became a queer person.
And as Kiki has explored the queer community and gotten to know it better, they have found things within it that they don't agree with.
There's like a silent topic that a lot of queer people doesn't talk about, which is like body positivity and body acceptance. For the most, we have, as a queer people, we have really high, unbelievable, quite very old standards to beauty. Unfortunately, it's very Eurocentric and very, very problematic beauty standards. One of my worst intersectionality is my body, not for me, but when it's come to other queer people, because other queer people can accept all kind of difference and variation in human being, but they don't have like body positivity or body acceptance. I have been for the longest brutalized and bullied because of my body, because of my fat body. And I've never thought that I would be bullied again from my queer community, but I did, because most of them have internal hate to themselves. They have internal hate to their own body, so they hated my fat body. I wish if we have more acceptance to our body image, and if we have more high esteems as a community. We really suffer as a community when it's come to our bodies, to our body image acceptance, because we really have very high problematic beauty standards that no one will get.
And while we're on this, listen to Kiki's final words of advice to the queer community.
We have this double standards that we think that thinner people are more healthier than fatter people and more active than fatter people or overweight people, which is something totally wrong. You don't understand what I do go through, and you don't understand my medical history, my family medical history. So don't judge me and don't bully me and don't bully a lot of people. I am a strong person, but there's a lot of people who are insecure with their body. And stop with this, with this high Eurocentric standard beauty. All the bodies are beautiful, whether it's cisgender, whether it's transgender, whether it's black or colored or white, whether it's round or thin or ribbed. All the bodies are beautiful, and I guess that we need to normalize this thing.